Hello, so in this video tutorial, I'm going to explain some of the formulas that you guys are going to be using to complete your Google Doc assignment on population math. So first thing I want you guys to notice is that all the equations that we've been learning about are here on this first sheet, our formula sheet. So this is going to be a good reference for you to refer back to when you're trying to determine which equation to use. Okay, so for example, if we look at number one says, what is the birth rate for a city that has a population of 450,000 and 1,500 births per year? So again, what I'm trying to calculate here is the birth rate. So let's go up and look at the formula for birth rate. Well, to calculate birth and death rates, we're going to take the total number of births divided by the population and times that one by 100. That would be the birth rate for this country. So if I take the total number of births, which is 1,000, actually let me get a different text color here so you guys can see my work, 1,500, and we're going to divide that by the total population, which is 450,000, okay, times that number by 100. That should give us the percentage for this birth rate. So that is the work that I would show on this assignment and the answer that I would type after I've done the math in this problem for number one. Let's look at one that's a little bit more tricky. Let's look at number 8. It says, in California's gold rush, some towns grew exponentially, meaning they're doubling at a fast rate. If a certain town started with 45 people and had 360 people 15 months later, what is the growth rate? So one thing to note here is that our growth rate, can also be measured per month instead of per year. So the first thing we need to figure out is how many times the population has doubled in this time period of 15 months. Okay, so again, I'm going to just show my work here. Well, twice of, let me get a different text color again so you guys can see this. Again, we started off with 45 people. Okay, well, if we double 45, in other words, if we double that population, because this is exponential growth, so 45 to 90, well, that's not how many we ended up with. We ended up with 360, so we have to double it again. 90 times 2, if we double that number, that would be 180. And again, we had more than 180. We had 360, so we have to double our population again. So 180 times 2, that would be 360 people. So let's count the number of times that it doubles. 45 to 90, that's once. 90 to 180, that's twice. 180 to 360. So our population has doubled 3 times. Okay, well then the next thing we have to do is take the total number of time that this occurred in. So we take 15 months divided by 3, and that tells us how many months it took to double. So this took 5 months to double the population. Okay, but if you look at the question, what we're trying to figure out is the R. Okay, so again, if we look at these formulas, R is the growth rate. So we know the amount of time that it took to double, but we're going to figure out R. In other words, we're going to work backwards. This is the part that we know, the time that it took the population to double. R on the bottom, that's our variable that we're trying to solve for. Okay, so again, the rule of 70 that calculates our doubling time says that 70 divided by R is going to be equal to our doubling time, which in this case was 5 months. It took 5 months to double. Okay, well, if I rearrange the variables in order to solve this algebraically, we multiply both sides by R. So another way of writing this is 70 equals 5r. Divide both sides by 5 to solve for our percent as a growth rate. So we're going to do the math and again express your answer as a percentage. Okay, r is always a percentage, so we'll express that as a percent. Okay, so again, this is just the setup for number 8 and the setup for number 1. You also need to complete math practice number 2, looking at these questions, using your formulas, showing your work on the screen, and then math practice number 3 is here. Now there is a YouTube video that I've included on our Canvas page that will allow you to correct your answers. Please be honest and do your work first. If you get something wrong, then that's okay. That's how we learn. But don't just watch the video and copy the answers. Do your work first and then go back and correct it. Again, if you need to fix something, if you made a mistake, that's why I put the video there. But try it to practice on your own first and then go back and watch the video to correct practice math 3. All right, I hope that helps you guys get a handle on this population math. As always, if you have questions, if you need help, reach out to me and I will help you as best I can to wrap your head around these formulas and how to use them to calculate information about populations.